Good evening, everyone. It's 6:30. We'll call this meeting to order of Marion City Council. And clerk, if you will take the roll.
Mr. Barr.
Present.
Mr. Ratliff.
Present.
Mr. Schauber.
Here.
Ms. Lang.
Here.
Mr. T. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Prater.
Present.
Mr. Dickel.
Present.
Mr. R. Smith. Mr. Rollins.
Present.
President Stoneburner.
Present. I do not see our pastor here tonight, Jeff Bush, for our invocation. We'll start with that before the pledge. Mr. Prater, would you like to say one?
Who's that? Me?
Would you like to say an invocation real quick?
Yes. Dear Lord, come here tonight, meet the city council, help us, give us wisdom on making the right choices. Lord, help us so we can help the city move forward. Give us strength, knowledge, and wisdom. And Lord, I pray that you'd be with everyone here tonight, that you would look after them. We're approaching the holiday season, the Christmas season, Lord Jesus, and we thank you for all you have done. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, you have summary of proceedings. Everyone's had a chance to review those. Ms. Lang?
I did contact the clerk today because there were several changes that I needed to have made, and he has given me a revised copy of those corrections, and at this time, I'm okay with them and make a motion to accept the minutes.
We have a motion to accept the proceedings. Mr. T. Smith?
Second.
I'm sorry.
Second.
Second, thank you.
Does everyone have the same revised copy?
No, it left the I out of her name was the change. It got it right in about 3 spots and the other 10,
Okay. And that was the only change?
that was the only change.
Okay.
Okay. There's a motion and a second to adopt. Are you ready?
Mr. Barr.
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff.
Yes.
Mr. Schauber.
Yes.
Ms. Lang.
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Prater.
Yes.
Mr. Dickel.
Yes.
Mr. Rollins.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to old business. Item number 1, ordinance 2025-123, Lee Street, Denison.
Ordinance authorizing the safety director to amend the master traffic control plan by placing stop signs on Lee Street at Denison Avenue, finding warrant requirements have been met in regards to this specific intersection contained herein.
Mr. Barr, this comes out of your commission, traffic commission.
Yeah, it's come out of the Traffic Commission with a 6-0 recommendation to approve. Tonight's the 3rd reading. I have nothing further to add unless there's any questions or discussion.
Mr. Rollins.
I'll make a motion to approve.
The motion to approve, Mr. Rollins, second from Mr. Prater.
Yes.
Any other comments or questions on that? All right.
Mr. Barr.
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff.
Yes.
Mr. Schauber.
No.
Ms. Lang.
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith.
No.
Mr. Prater.
Yes.
Mr. Dickel.
Yes.
Mr. Rollins.
Yes.
5-2. I missed one, I'm sorry, 6-2.
6-2, motion carries. Item number 2, ordinance 2025-093, 098-3.
Ordinance designating depositories of public monies of the city of Marion and declaring an emergency as amended.
And Ms. Lang, this comes out of finance.
This came out of Finance Company with a 2-1 no recommendation. Tonight is the 3rd read. it was amended to add 50% of the remaining active funds. Other than that, I have nothing further to discuss on this. And at this point, I make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, and Mr. Rollins
Second.
has the second. Any other comments or questions on that? Okay, you're ready.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
No.
Ms. Lang?
Yes,
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion carries. 7-1. Item number 3, ordinance 2026-002.
Ordinance to make appropriations for salaries, benefits, and other expenditures for all funds during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026, for the first quarter only.
Ms. Lang, your name appears first on here.
this came out of Finance Committee. Well, no, it did not come out of that. It was discharged. This is before council at the recommendation of the State Auditor's Office to pass a first quarter only budget with a permanent budget to follow by April the 1st. So this is only a temporary budget based on the last copy of the adjusted budget that was balanced. Tonight is the second read.
Mr. Ratliff.
I've had several conversations and emails with people regarding this, and I will not be here to actually vote on it come January 1st, but there are three highlights of things that I want to bring up as far as things that I think need to be changed. And first of all is funding for evening transportation. Second of all is funding for the downtown. And third of all is funding for the created position of the Economic Development Director. And we have in front of us what is presented as a balanced budget. So at that point, if you can find money to fund your project or your service, I think it's okay to constitute either maintaining or adding that service to the city. And with the, assuming that the city council not accepting raises for the next 2 years does pass tonight, which I would anticipate that it does, that would save $30,000. We're told that the evening bus route costs $36,000. So we're running relatively close with just the money that city council gave up from their raises to be able to provide evening transportation services to the people of Marion who need it. The other is that there is a TIF, that is the Piston TIF, that is either just up on December 1st or is up December 31st. And I'm not sure exactly which one that is, but that has approximately $206,000 that TIF can be closed and transferred to the general fund. I do believe that money that is gained from economic development should be used for economic development. And I think with a city that where we face a problem that we face a large part because we haven't had very good economic development for a long time. And that's evidenced by the fact that our revenues are either stagnant or down year over year over year. And that is with raises happening. And so obviously we're not gaining jobs. So with looking forward to Marion, the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, if we don't focus on economic development today, city councils 20 years from now are going to be forced with the same issues that we are today. And, you know, people can say what that they want about Can Do. Some people like, some people don't. I'm of the camp that we probably weren't the best served throughout the past decade plus. And that's partially why our funds and our revenue is stagnant or down year over year. So we've blown up Can Do. And now, unless we do something, we have no economic development arm. And so I think that we would be foolish to not fund economic development. And a city that is starving for income and starving for jobs, to cut economic development is probably the last place that you should cut. So with the $206,000 that we're going to be gaining from that piston TIF, we could fund the downtown and fund the position of Economic Development Director for over 2 years anyway. So, you know, like I said, I've had a lot of conversations, a lot of emails, a lot of stuff back and forth. Did get an email today from the mayor, and, you know, I think he had indicated that he would like to look at it once we get time to focus on the full year's budget. And that may be okay for the Economic Development Director position. I'm not sure if it's okay for the downtown, but it sure isn't okay for the bus service. Because, you know, for the bus service, especially for us to have been building over time and gaining momentum over time, and in the just recent past have morphed into, you know, what people dub the party bus that just does a route kind of downtown, to actually servicing people that don't have transportation on a case-by-case and on-call basis, to have that moving forward, then shut it down, then start it back up again, is the worst thing that you can do to try to continue momentum with the bus service. So, you know, I would encourage council to think about that, and I will make them in 3 separate motions because I don't want to make them in one. And I will make a motion to amend this to fund 25% of the $36,000 for the evening bus service.
Ms. Lang?
Although I appreciate everything Mr. Ratliff has said tonight, these are things that we are considering when looking at the full budget. Right now, the only thing that is on the table is an operating expense budget, salaries, benefits, temporary 25%. Once we have submitted our plan to the state attorney or the state auditor's office and we've gotten approval of that plan back, then we will in committee negotiate and readjust and amend in committee, council, whatever, the full operating budget. This is just a temporary budget right now to get us started the first of the year. It's not saying that everything in here is locked in line item by line item. We still have a lot of things to look at and a lot of input to get back from the state at this point.
Mr. Rollins?
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second for this amendment. Mr. Ratliff?
And just kind of in a response to that, we had a female that was here, I don't know, 2 months ago or so. And, you know, and I know that that's just one person, but explain to us that she could not drive and that was working in the evenings because we had a bus service. So what do we tell her? This is just temporary and maybe you can work again in April? If you're going to have a service, you have to commit to have a service. And like it or not, the city committed to the service. The city has lost money on the service. But unless you continue with it, the money was lost for nothing.
Mayor Collins?
Just to address a few of those things. He's absolutely right when he says that I agree absolutely with trying to look at these things and putting them back in the budget. I think it's important to know a few facts first, and that is that night moves law, or the nighttime transit, or the night moves bus, that he is very accurate in saying kind of morphed into a on-demand service 3 days a week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We lost almost $15,000 on that last year. So, I mean, we're gonna have, the ridership did increase during the summer and the fall, and but at $2 a ride, it costs more to operate that bus and pay the driver than we're able to get a return on, which isn't a lot unlike the daytime service. It's the same kind of thing. I think that my only issue with that is right now we are in the midst of preparing a recovery plan for the state. And this quarter budget was at their suggestion, is the reason we did it. And it's to give us time to look at all of these different things, to see by the end of the first quarter if we have money somewhere else that we don't even know if they're going to approve our plan yet. So our plan hasn't been submitted. We don't know that it's going to be approved. We really don't know how bad things are because we haven't had any reconciliations forever. So that obviously will be part of the plan. I absolutely think that this would be a good use of that TIF money. I'm just not sure what the state will think when we start amending our budget before we've even passed it and adding stuff back in. So that was my only cautionary tale to everybody was, I'm not against this. I certainly think that those funds are sitting there. They should be used for the good of the community. But I think we should wait until we at least get our approval back from the state on our recovery plan, which should be, we have to submit it by the 26th, and it'll probably take them 10 days or so, I would imagine, to get back with us and say whether they accept it or not. And if they do accept it, then we start making these longer-term plans for after the first quarter, or even before the end of the first quarter. We can always come back and make an amendment to the budget or an additional appropriation to the budget from those TIF funds. So I just thought it was important to have that information out there. I certainly appreciate everybody, I'm the guy that stood here and listened to the lady say she just got a ride to work and then 2 days later had to cut the bus service because it just is not making any money. And we're not flush with money. So we're trying to, those, unfortunately, just like Downtown Marion Inc., Can Do, whoever else it might be, when those nonprofits rely on government funding, when government funding gets tight, that's usually the first things to go. And in this case, we are still working with Evie from Regional Planning and Ken and Mike and myself to keep economic development going. I'm sure we're at least as good as it was, which isn't saying a whole lot, but we're getting there. It's just that I think that the timing has to be as such to kind of match what our recovery plan, whether it gets approved or not. Thank you.
Well, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments from council? All right.
Mr. Barr?
No.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
No.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickville?
No.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
5-3, ordinance is approved, or adopted, amendment.
5-3, we have motion to amend carries. We'll have to read that out because I don't have all of it in front of me. I've got to amend the fund 25%, but I missed some of what you said.
It is of the $36,000 for the evening bus service. And again, the TIF comes into play in my next two that I'm going to make, but this one came into play by the city council is giving up their $3,000 raises, potentially. And so they're literally out of council's own pockets, putting $30,000 back into the city coffers, which can be used to absolutely serve the underprivileged.
An ordinance to make appropriations for salaries and benefits and other expenditures for all funds during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2016 for the first quarter only, as amended.
Mr. Ratliff.
The second amendment I will propose, and again, we are going to have $206,000 that we did not initially bank on with the closing of this TIF, either that just happened or is happening next week or so. And I think we should fund 25% of the customary money for downtown with that. And at that point, if people don't think they can fund it at that level, that can be addressed at when you guys address the entire budget. But I think initially to kick off the year, the money is clearly there. The money is clearly there for economic development. And I'll make a motion to amend 25% for the downtown.
Sorry.
Yes, Mr. Collins.
25% of what we annually give or
Yes.
normally
Yes.
annually give?
It's about $2,250, or $12,250, I'm sorry.
Mr. Kreider, question?
I would like to make a comment.
Sure.
Scott Kreider, 278 Center Street, Marion City Council at Large elect. I have submitted a letter that I think all council has just received in support of funding downtown Marion. In a sense, to wrap up what I said, I was on the Marion Downtown Board initially. That would be until COVID. And at that time, we had just received $12,000 of funding from the city. And we had a part-time staff that would implement. We had loft tours and a few items that were just starting. I would hate to not see this momentum continue. Okay, I think everybody's in agreement with that. But I also wrapped up and said, if we're just doing a 25% budget now, then 25% should be allotted to downtown Marion, just again from the TIF monies and so forth. Just that will allow time for downtown Marion Board to possibly look at their mission statement and so forth, and somehow get some reorganization, possibly through in coordination with the chamber or even Marion Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. But I think that's going to buy a little bit of time, and I just think that it'll just help kind of perhaps ease into a better place. So, just one second.
Thank you, Mr. Kreider. Yes.
Point of order, you have a motion on the floor, and you shouldn't have discussion until there's either a second or no second, and then the motion dies.
True. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second from Mr. Shaw?
You got a gentleman up there.
Yes.
Hello. Hi, I'm Matt Carberry, 1489 Woodbridge Road, Marion. I'd like to start by saying thank you to Councilmember Ratliff for adding our 2026 funding to this agenda and allowing folks like myself a chance to briefly speak on the importance of this organization. This would have been our amazing current board chair, Cheryl, but she just had throat surgery, so you got me instead. I've been on Downtown Marion Board since about 2014, while I was an ex officio Chamber of Commerce representative. And then I remain on the board since I shifted from the Chamber to my family business at Sims Brothers Recycling. I am on the executive board for Downtown, and I am currently the committee chair of the Downtown Marion Economic Vitality Committee. I've watched this organization grow and mature to become a critical driver of economic development and quality of life here in Marion. It is my opinion that a vast majority of what success has happened in Marion and in downtown, and by extension the county, is in large part due to the dedicated and passionate board members, volunteers, and our executive director, Alan Wilson of Downtown Marion, Inc. I believe DMI has presented some of these numbers in the past, so I won't go back any further than 2025. But I did want to help some of the statistics that we have done in 25. In terms of 25, these statistics are hot off the press. DMI hosted 22 events to bring in just under 24,000 attendees to downtown and the area in 25. According to Heritage Ohio, our Main Street organization partner, that equates to an economic impact of over $478,000 flowing into Marion City and County. In 25, 55 new jobs were created in downtown. Downtown Marion Inc.'s social media reach in 25 was over 5.8 million views and over 2,700 new social media followers. We did this with the generous support of you folks on council and others in the community, but also with over 1,600 volunteer hours. Heritage puts that at over 58,000 in-kind donations, which essentially matches the city's 2025 commitment. The board met earlier this month, before we heard about the city funding cuts, and had locked in over 23 events in 26, including America 250 events. From our economic vitality perspective, which I personally have been involved with, our committee helps the city by supporting local small businesses and identifying new opportunities for our old buildings in the downtown core. This work is important because the impact of a strong downtown core on payroll and sales tax numbers can equal the retention or addition of multiple jobs at a mid-sized or larger employer. In 2025, Economic Vitality established the Downtown Business and Building Owners Handbook, which is given to every new business and building owner in downtown and promoted on our website, where it is constantly being updated. This guide is all about reducing barriers, connecting owners with resources, and sharing with them what our city's expectations are in the historic district. We also created and collected information from Marion City and county businesses on the challenges they are facing so we could look to address them from a policy level. What came out of that was the need for a specialized third-party commercial code department to improve safety, consistency, and accelerate rehabilitation projects, which is why we submitted on behalf of the entire DMI organization our letter of support to council to do just that. In 25, Economic Vitality Committee also partnered with the Heritage Ohio, who, throughout Main Street affiliation, is providing us access to the nationwide Booms Tracker app, which we have been hard at work utilizing to create a comprehensive map-based inventory of downtown parcels, buildings, businesses, and vacancy opportunities, with the goal by Q3 of 26 of making the data public and available to businesses outside of our community to attract them to Marion. Over the next year, Economic Vitality Committee's plan, in addition to our Booms Tracker app, is to get even more data-driven by studying our local shopping trends, spending patterns, traffic flow, retention statistics, and more through our partnership with other local organizations and Heritage Ohio. We will also continue to provide helpful guides and tools for our building and business owners. That is just a few of the examples of projects and initiatives that only one of our Downtown Marion Inc.'s many committees has been and would be working on into the new year. Projects that could go away without your support and partnership. Without that support, by the second quarter of next year, we will no longer be able to pay Alan, and this organization would shut down. And we have already made emergency major cuts and reduced our programming and marketing ability we had allocated to tell Marion's story. I reached out to Heritage Ohio earlier today. There is only one Main Street organization in the entire state that is not receiving a portion of their total annual funds from the local city government. Since Downtown Marion's inception in 1998, as a council, you folks have always understood the value of DMI and the significant return in investment. In my 14 years here in Marion, I have been on nearly a dozen boards and have been involved with even more organizations, and I have never met a more dedicated, passionate, hardworking board and volunteer group. It is an absolute definition of a working board, and still Alan is putting in far more hours into his position than should be required of him. But we all care so much for Marion, and it's hard not to want to do more. And it helps that we see our hard work paying off through our event attendance, special infrastructure project grants we've been awarded, from the pride and investments that our downtown owners put into their buildings and businesses, to the continued growth and expansions in downtown. I just hope that the city sees this impact as well, but not in hindsight should this amazing organization shut down. I strongly encourage council to reconsider funding this incredible organization at the full amount from last year. If not, then at least some portion, and to do so as soon as possible. Again, I cannot speak to all the budget-related issues the city has been going through the past number of years, but cutting support for an organization with as much impact as we have is not the answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
My name is Deanna Christian. I do reside in the county, but I am a volunteer for Downtown Marion, Inc.
Mr. Ratliff?
Make a motion to let the speaker speak.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second from Mr. Ratliff and Mr. Barr to allow county resident to speak.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Teesman?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dichtel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
So did you know Downtown Marion, Inc. is made up of 4 committees. I am one of the volunteers and currently serve on the promotions committee, while also assisting with other committees throughout the year. This year I volunteered on several events, including Third Thursday, Downtown Decorating, Secret Santa, and the annual gala. I was also honored to be one of the sponsors for the Secret Santa program this year. I have attended many downtown events, and many of you has attended as well. This year, Downtown Marion, Inc. was able to host one of the largest Christmas parades since the beginning, with 83 entries. If you were there, you saw the joy it brought for both young and old. Despite the cold temperatures, the turnout shows the strong desire within the community and the support to promote downtown. I've heard people say that Downtown Marion, Inc. is just Third Thursday and trick-or-treat. But it is so much more than that. Downtown Marion, Inc. promotes activities that bring people together, encourage visitors to come downtown, help local businesses grow, and support the city of Marion as a whole. Continuing funding will allow us to keep building on these successes, support for your local businesses, and bring even more people downtown Marion. I would like to encourage all of you to support the Downtown Marion Inc. this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Go ahead.
Again, I want to remind everybody that this was ordinance 26002. It is not the budget. It is the temporary budget to get us through the first quarter. The one that we have to submit to, the plan that we need to submit to the auditor's office, the state auditor's office, is to get us through the full year. If we keep adding stuff, we're not going to get, our proposed plan will be denied and they'll come in and take over. So I'm supporting Downtown Marion Inc., I support transit, but we need to get our budget in order first before we start doling out money to everybody else. We've got to keep how many police officers do you want us to lay off? How many firemen do you want us to lay off? Because we don't want to lay off anybody. And that is our priority right now, is keeping the city operating.
Ms. Fisher?
Lois Fisher, 790 Vernon Heights Circle, Marion. First of all, I would like to say I totally agree with everything that's been said here. Supporting Downtown Marion Inc. And as you all know, I've always been very supportive of Downtown Marion Inc. However, my question is twofold this time. I have two questions. One goes back to the how. How are we going to do this? And my first question is on the TIF, and this would be something Mr. Russell may be able to answer just very simply because I'm confused on it. Are TIFs permitted to use funds for other than infrastructure, or was there something in this particular TIF that said it could go for operating expenses?
So the early review from Marion County Regional Planning is that these funds in the
piston tip, which is at the end of its useful life, would be able to be placed into the general fund, since the piston tip has come to the end of its useful life. So the initial answer is yes. But an important point, those monies haven't been moved from the TIF fund to the general fund yet. So as Mayor Collins was saying, yes, it's probably better to wait till we're in January so that we could take the first step, which is to move the monies from the TIF fund to the general fund and then begin to appropriate them out.
Because at this moment, the funds still in the TIF, legally, it cannot be used for operating funds, is that correct?
Well,
this is just what I read.
I think it's important to understand with the budget that Mayor Collins presented, the $14,800,000 budget, that was in the black. So if you look at 26-02, it shows a black balance, it's not in the red. So there are funds available that could be appropriated at $36,000 for the bus, still in the black. $30,000 for downtown, still in the black. If we were to make a larger movement of monies, we are at some point not going to be in the black any longer, because what Mayor Collins presented was a balanced budget with monies available to be appropriated as council determined going forward. So right now, those monies are still in the TIF fund. They haven't moved to the general fund. That would be a recommended first step, and then the council at that point in time can start to appropriate them to what they find to be important to the community.
So, back to what Glenn was saying, then, if we didn't get funding in the first quarter, can you pass something that would say that we would get it in the, but Downtown Marion Inc. would get it in the second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter?
Oh, yeah. As was mentioned, the annual appropriation ordinance can be amended at any time by council throughout the year.
Okay, then, my other question then, that I was confused on that, if we have, on the 26th, you're submitting, or you have not submitted a budget to the state at this moment.
So the process and the precedent is the City of Marion Council adopts the appropriation budget on the first day of the year. So the plan this coming January 1, the plan at this point in time is to convene at noon, and at that point in time, the council will adopt, hopefully, the appropriation ordinance, which is the budget. So that's all lined up to be approved on January 1 of 2026 in this room.
Okay, and at this very moment, there is not a line item on the proposed budget that sits someplace at this moment for the funding, the first quarter funding of Downtown Marion Inc. No, there is no line item.
It's not funded, right?
Not funded.
It's not funded. The line item exists.
It exists?
The line item exists. It just isn't funded.
It's zero or?
It's zero.
Okay.
Because it went to zero when the mayor and the administrators worked hard to get it to a black budget, to a balanced budget, not in the red. So at this moment, it's just not funded. But the conversation that I think everybody is talking about is very early in January to start talking about what is our priority in regards to any monies that we believe are available to fund important things like downtown, economic development, all those things.
Okay, trying to get this one through. So if it doesn't pass, if this doesn't pass tonight, as far as that, then the intent would be that it would still fund, if it doesn't pass, there would still be funding available for second, third, and fourth quarter of Downtown Marion Inc.
Right. The only thing it would take would be an additional appropriation, which we do throughout the year, depending on what the subject matter is. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
I saw Ms. Lang, Ms. Lukey, and Mr. Ratliff all with hands up, so I'll start with you, Ms. Lang.
And the only other thing I want to add, that we still have an 8.9 million deficit that we have to put into this budget yet, and make a payment plan on. That we have not got to that point yet in our weekly meetings on how we can keep a balanced budget and still make payments and reduce this 8.9 million that we have to have a plan to get rid of.
Ms. Lupke?
Teresa Lupke, 555 Normandy Drive. Some of my questions were answered by Ms. Fisher and Mr. Russell, but if it's okay, I have a couple questions. I've worked with TIFs before, but a lot of people probably don't know what those are. Can somebody just give a layperson's explanation of what a TIF is so that people are understanding where that revenue would come from?
So the state legislature, quite a few decades ago, created in the state code the ability for communities to create tax increment financing. That's what the TIF stands for. What it allows is new construction, new development to define the territory where it's going to exist, and then the increase in value because of the construction. Instead of paying the taxes to the Marion County Auditor, they go to the Marion County Auditor, but those monies instead of going towards county taxes can be redirected to pay for the construction costs, the infrastructure costs. So it's related to economic development.
And so this particular TIF has built up, if you would, or a couple $100,000, it sounds like, and yet the TIF is expiring. So what, if that TIF money gets moved into the general fund and it's not specifically allocated for something, what happens to it?
Used for anything.
So administrators doing their job,
Yeah.
understanding that these monies came from the TIF.
Yeah.
And as you pointed out, the TIF documents sometimes, and in this case, enable the use of these funds after the end of the life of the TIF for other economic development purposes. We make sure that happens. So if in February the council wants to take those monies and buy or have a big party, I'm going to stand up and say, no, that's not economic development. Well, I guess it could be, but that's the kind of controls that are in place in a positive way.
Thanks. And one final question. If you were funding Downtown Marion Inc. as normal, do you pay them in quarterly payments? Is it one time a year? How is that normally done? So I'm just trying, like, from a cash flow perspective, what?
Monthly. They invoice the city.
So if this isn't.
I'm sorry, quarterly. Is it quarterly now?
Quarterly. And so there would be, if it had been fully funded, a payment in January that they would not receive without it in the budget. I'm just trying to see from a cash flow perspective, when would they miss their next payment?
March 1st.
So when I had my hand raised, I was going to kind of touch on that because procedurally, I think what we're missing with this is that it takes more than just an appropriation of council to fund the downtown and what used to fund can do. Because there's also, that goes through the Economic Development Committee, a resolution of support, and that is the mechanism funding funnel to be able to give them the money. So if committees are not formed until January 1st, a committee is not going to be called until the first council meeting, which is going to be the second Monday. And then if the committee calls it on the very first meeting, it won't hit council until at least the end of January, and if it receives a reading or two, it will be the end of February. So the first payment to the downtown is always kind of late, depending on how long that process takes. Now, surely in that time, council would be able to find out, to move the TIF money from point A to point B, because that would just take one legislative action, and then that can happen, to where if it can't happen or doesn't happen, I would encourage the committee at that point to keep it in committee until that it does. But there is a double check on that at the start of the year, and there is a safeguard there. And again, any amendment that I am proposing tonight, I have offered a way that it's paid for as well.
Right. Somebody would just have to be paying attention, since you won't be on council, at the beginning of the year to initiate that TIF moving into general fund and earmark it, that's probably not the right word, but appropriate it towards that. is there somebody on council who is willing to say, hey, I'll carry that burden, or I'll watch out for that?
I've been working with the TIF since October, trying to find how we can move and appropriate those funds to support the economic development position. So that's still not off the table.
Yeah.
But to get a budget that's balanced, that had to come out at this time.
I do think it's important to support our economic development, especially an organization that's already ongoing. I know we're talking about just that one amendment, but something like the director position that doesn't exist yet, I think there's a little bit more time, but I would just encourage council to come up with a solution, whether it's this amendment or whether it's making sure it's on the agenda really early in the year so that that funding can get to Downtown Marion Inc. as close to March 1st as possible.
Ms. Lang?
I'd like to add one more thing too. When we did meet with the state auditor's office, one of the things that they said is any 501s have to be self-supporting, and it's not the responsibility of the city to fund that. Not that we're saying we don't want to, but they said that was two of the areas that we had to look at getting rid of off the top. So a lot of the things that we're doing, we're not doing because we don't want to do it. We're doing it because we're being advised to do it. So if we want them to approve our plan, if we don't take into consideration the things that they've advised us to do, then chances are our plan ain't going to get accepted. And what do we do then?
Mr. Barr?
I just want to say, Ms. Lepke, I'll commit to making sure that that's on the agenda for funding for DMI, which I've spoke with several of them on that also. I'm in huge support of supporting DMI, of continuing an evening transit, of creating an economic development position. But these are all things that I think have to be done after the action plan is approved.
Thank you. Another comment?
Kimberly Mayer, 890 Gebhardt Street. I agree, we do need the bus service and all of that stuff. However, we also are in negative money. So if we're in negative money, can't really afford it. We do live in a town that is very poor. Our town needs the bus like that. To take a taxi cab, it's $5 to go one way. The bus is cheaper. I just don't think very many people use the bus. I think we need to get that information out there more. I think there's a lot of things that this town could do a little bit more to try to get people out there. I mean, I see our banners that go across and tell us to go to these things. But I think we need to get somehow the more community more involved, to get them to want to hear it, to participate. Just saying, we need to listen to Mrs. Lang a little bit. If we don't, what happens is Ohio comes in and they rule everything. And then we don't have a say at all. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I would like us still to be able to discuss and do things, right? Because if we come in and let the state of Ohio just take over, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. So I do agree. I think we do need the buses. So if we can find a way to do that, whatever, that's great and all. But I think there needs to be another way to come up with money for this, like Downtown Marion Inc. What about all these rich people who live in this town? Can we get them to use some of their money in their pockets? This is a poor town. You can't expect the city to fund the very thing that you want them to make money off of. It just doesn't make sense.
Anything else? Mr. President?
Yeah, I just want to know, does Downtown Marion Inc., if we passed this tonight and didn't fund them for the first quarter. They have enough money to get through the first part of the year. Do they have, would it disappear, I don't want the organization to disappear, yet on the other hand, I understand what Ms. Lang said about we need to approve this budget the way it is so the state doesn't step in. I voted for the bus route, the amendment that Mr. Ayers had, because there is importance about people getting to work and getting around even in the evening. But I just wonder if downtown Marion can get through the first quarter, then I just say let's wait on this, and then I will be with Mr. Barr and we'll bring this up about the TIF money to fund downtown Marion Inc. in the second, third, and fourth quarters.
Okay. Yes.
So quickly to respond to that, to answer your question, we'd be out of funds roughly around the end of March. And a reminder again that the amount of investment we brought back to the community last year equated to $478,000. So again, if we're not around, and I hear you, but if we're not around, the loss could be potentially over $478,000 to this community. So just want to make that clear.
Ms. Lang and Mr. Rollins.
I have a question. I saw where Downtown Marion Inc. had a fundraiser online asking people to commit to $750 for, what I think it was a $62.50 payment per month. What was the result of that?
I think the numbers are still coming in from that, and the support has been amazing. To someone's point about, we definitely, it's a combination. It's again, there's only one in the entire state that's not funded in part by the city that they're in, but we definitely receive private donations, public donations, partnerships, and sponsorships. So I don't know what the final numbers are for 35 now. So that's 35 individuals have agreed to that, which is amazing. That's great, but it's still getting us to the end of it.
Mr. Rollins, did you have a question here?
That was my exact question.
Okay. All right, thank you.
One more comment, if I could, please.
Yes, Ms. Lang.
On the fact that, your budget goes, you could support your budget through March. The actual budget would not probably be passed until the end of February or the 1st of March after it goes through all the readings, just like last year. So your funding is still at the same possibility that it was this year for last year. Does that make sense? Like, we didn't fund you until, what, March or April of last year, by the time everything got through, which is normal with the first budget. This is just a temporary budget. That's the difference. We're talking a temporary budget until we can get a plan submitted to the state attorney office and get an approval back, and then we will work on the permanent budget, the one that'll fund us for the whole year. And that's not saying that we can't put Downtown Marion Inc. back in there. We can with the appropriation, which is how it came to us every year. It's appropriated. So nothing's really changed other than at this point we've taken that line item out.
Ms. Pratt.
So what do we advise them to do? Do they run as an operation that's going to be shut down on April 1st, or do they run as an organization that's going to be funded on April 1st? Because those are two completely different plans, and they need to plan for that now.
I understand that.
And if, so then if the budget is okay as of April 1st, and then it has to go through the process to get funded, and then they don't get any money until May 1st, what do they do in April? What is their employee supposed to do? Call the bank and say, sorry, I don't have a paycheck yet, so I'm just going to volunteer for a while, and I'm not going to make my house payment for this month. People have to plan, and they can't plan on a promise and a maybe. And so the only thing that I'm saying is that let's give them something that they can plan on. And you know, if you guys pull the funding later, then do that in a way, unlike we did to them in December, where they're sitting at a council meeting and they hear they're not going to have any more funding. I mean, talk about treating a group unfair that has, you know, spent their own hard time and money trying to make this city better. And you know, I just think it is only fair to give them a plan that they're going to be funded.
Thank you, Mr. Ratliff. I saw a hand of Mr. Rollins, Mr. Barr, and Mr. Dickel. Nothing?
I had
Okay.
no.
Mr. Barr? And then Mr.
Mr. Russell, what's the process to transfer these TIF funds over to the general fund? That's a piece of legislation to move that after the first of the year, and how long a process is that?
It would just be placed before the first or second finance committee of the next year.
Okay. Is that a legislation we can start working on?
Yes.
Okay. So that's my commitment, that this is something that I'm going to pursue. I've had these conversations with members of the Downtown Marion Board. I just want to get our action plan with the state through. And then I'm committed to helping fund and being in support of Downtown Marion.
Mr. Dickel?
My comment is, it's nice to want to fund all these things, but we don't even fund our own city. And you want us to promise funds to people out there when we don't even know how much money we have. And the point that Mrs. Lang is making is, let's get this budget passed so then we can figure out what we have to work with the new council in the new year. But we got to get it to that point. But we can't take this budget that a lot of people, smart people, have worked on and put it in the black and start throwing monkey wrenches in it so it doesn't pass the state. Because no matter what we pass, if this doesn't pass the state, nothing we do here is going to matter anyway, because the state's going to come in and they're going to cut everybody's funding. So the smart thing to do would be to pass the as-is and let the new council come in and add those line items back in at I'm hearing everybody wants to do that, but we've got to get this past the state first. And all we're doing here is talking and feeling bad about cutting things, but we're throwing monkey wrenches in this plan already. And this is only the first step of many steps the city's going to have to take to get out of this financial mess that we're in. So stop this. You know, stop throwing monkey wrenches in the plan. Stick to the plan, get it passed, and let the new council come in and add those appropriations back in after January. Because we don't know what's going to happen. If we don't pass that plan, what you're doing right here is not going to matter anyway.
I think that you're looking at it wrong. The way that I'm looking at it, why would you give a plan to the state that's not your plan? If your plan is we're going to give it to the state, get them to approve it, and then make a bunch of changes, that's a completely disingenuous plan. Let's give the state the plan that we plan on doing, and if we want to do it, do it. If you want to do it, vote yes. If you don't, vote no, and just be honest about it. Let your actions speak louder than what you tell people that you want to do. But the worst thing you can do is submit a plan, get it approved, and then say, you know what, that really wasn't the plan. We're actually going to do all this instead. We just wanted you to approve the plan. That would be the worst thing that the city could do.
Mr. Rollins, did you have your hand?
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's one of the questions I was going to ask was, all right, so we cut $4.5 million out of the original budget. How much of that are we going to add in after this gets approved by the state auditor? I mean, at some point we're going to have to make hard decisions, one way or the other, right? So.
Okay. Mayor Collins?
I understand what they're saying, but that is exactly what they told us, was get this temporary budget in place that allows you a couple of more months to plan your permanent rest of the year budget where you can make changes or see. They may say the 5% of our revenue that we want to put toward paying down that $8.9 million, they may say that's not enough. They may say you have to pay 10%. And that's going to affect our budget dramatically. So we don't know until we get the plan to the state and whether they accept it or not. And then when we put forth the permanent budget for the rest of the year, they would again have to approve those changes that we made and whether they accept those or not. So it is kind of, we have to take the advice they give us and try to move this temporary budget forward and then make our changes during that 3-month period before April 1st.
Thank you, Mayor Collins. Mrs. R?
First, I want to thank everybody for all the hard work, and I know Twyla, you've been doing a lot. Ayers, what you said is excellent. Mr. Barr, what you're planning to do, but I have a question.
Could we have your name and address,
Oh,
just
I'm
for the
sorry,
record?
Victoria Arndt, 410 Clover Avenue. I hear the urgency in Twyla. And I know Ayers is thinking ahead for a purpose. My question is, we're wanting to do everything that the state is telling us to do already. We need a backup plan, Twyla, because I was talking to Dick right now, if I'm not mistaken, if we don't have a backup plan and the state says you guys can't pull it together, we're taking it. There has been instances that I'm aware of where people have done what the state said, but the state still doesn't necessarily have to agree with it with no backup plan. We got issues with Can Do, we've got TIF coming in, we need this, and what you said, Mr. Dickel, is proper, that if we don't do something, but we have to have a backup plan. That's all I'm saying. If it doesn't agree with them for some odd reason, how are we going to keep going? And you know how I bring up, what are we going to do in the future? What if it somehow it all falls apart by the state? Because you can't necessarily believe everything that we do is going to come to fruition. So I just want to suggest we have some kind of backup plan if this,
We're working on a plan and a backup plan.
Okay.
We have weekly meetings.
Okay.
You know, we're writing down, we're taking notes.
But I'm not
sitting.
hearing there's anything, and the only thing I heard tonight was Ayers saying we could do this, this, and this, and he'd like to get that out to the people prior to him leaving. So as long as the people here are hearing there's a backup plan, then I'm not as concerned as I was going, where are we gonna go if this thing falls apart?
But this backup plan needs to be on the permanent, not the temporary. This
Right.
is just a temporary budget
Okay.
to get us, so that we can continue to operate.
So if we go along with this particular plan, then they accept it. What if they don't accept it and we have to make different changes?
Then we're working on,
Okay.
what if we do this, what if we do that?
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Thank you. Well, we have a
Motion to second.
motion and a second from Mr. Ratliff a long while ago. And this is for his second motion to amend ordinance 2026-002.
Mr. Barr?
No.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
No,
Mr. T. Smith?
No.
Mr. Prater?
No.
Mr. Dickel?
No.
Mr. Rollins?
No.
Motion did not carry. We have
2-6.
2-6.
Got one more.
Let me read this again.
Yes, we still have to do the,
An ordinance to make appropriations for salaries and benefits and other expenditures for all funds during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026 for the first quarter only as amended.
okay.
Yeah, so we've been speaking about general fund and that it is balanced. What about the total budget when you add general fund and enterprise funds? It looks like expenses are around $51 million. And a few weeks back, I believe it was at a finance committee,
revenues were totaling around 44 million. So would my recollection be that we're still $6 million out of balance?
Mr. Allen, do you have a reply to that?
This ordinance is brought forward, reducing the council and council
I
president.
think we're still on
Yeah,
the third amendment for item 3. Am I right?
Well,
I don't think we have a
you
third
haven't
amendment.
I don't
given
think
a
there
third
was a,
Mr. Ratliff didn't get
I thought he
that.
put those out as 1, 2, and 3.
Well, I said I was going
And
to,
I
I'm
thought there was
not,
a first and second on all
I'm not
three.
gonna throw any more wrenches in the budget.
All right,
So,
so,
Council President, may I ask directly to the auditor and director of budget management, is my recollection correct that our total budget's 51 and our total revenues is around 44 million?
Total revenues, meaning for the enterprise funds, or total revenues as in general and enterprise?
Yeah.
That total both general and enterprise.
Yes. Are we balanced on both general enterprise funds, total fund, whatever you want to, however you want to put it?
We're talking about general fund budget right now. Not talking about the enterprise fund budget. We're talking about the 14.8, which is the general fund budget.
Okay. My question was about the whole thing, but, okay, that's fine.
We can ask a question about, because when we pass a 25% budget, it's of the entire.
Yes, it is in here, but we will not be here, Mr. Ratliff, so that's fine.
okay, so item number 3, we are finished with except for what we're going to do on January 1st. Moving on to item number 4, ordinance 2025-128.
Ordinance to amend ordinance number 2023-052 as to president of council, council members, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Barr, I have your name first on here.
Yes, we had the first reading. There was an amendment proposed that was not adopted. We tried to suspend the rules and didn't have enough votes to do that. It's just pushing back the pay increase for council and council president till January 1 of 2028.
Okay. Moving on to new business. Item number 5, ordinance 2025-129.
Was there any more discussion, or?
Oh.
Council President moved on,
Was there?
so I think that was our first reading,
Second.
or second
Reading it
reading.
as a
That
second
was the reading.
Does anybody that did not
Anything
want to
else?
suspend the rules the last time want to make a motion to suspend those rules? We do realize, right, if this goes to a third reading, it's January 1st and you can't change pay.
I'll vote to suspend the rules.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first for Mr. Prater, a second for Mr. Dickel.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any discussion? Any further discussion? Or questions? All right.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
No,
Ms. Lang?
yes,
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to
Carries
approve.
7-1.
Mr. Prater?
Mr. Prater and Mr. Dickel, I recognize. Mr. Prater, did you have a question?
No,
Oh, okay, sorry.
just a second.
Mr. Dickel?
No, I made a motion to approve, to
Oh.
adopt this. And Mr. Prater seconded.
Mr. Prater was my second, all right. Anyway,
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
No.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
okay. That carries. Again, 7-1. All right, moving on to new business. Item number 5, ordinance 2025-129.
Ordinance amending 2013-017 in order to reestablish the council's information systems committee.
I see Mr. Barr on this, and Mr. Dickel, you're the chair here?
Yes, this came out of legislation and codes. It was just to reestablish the tech committee, for lack of a better word, because of the consideration of new software, the city might be getting important software, et cetera.
Okay.
I would say that because this is something that the new president pro tem is going to have to do the first meeting, I would make a motion that we suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second.
Okay, a motion to suspend 3 readings, and it looks like a second from Mr. T. Smith. Mr. Ratliff?
Just a question, because although the majority is going to be the same, there's going to be 3 new council members on here. Just throwing out the idea of putting it on the agenda for January 1st and letting the new council vote to have it, and at that point, your president pro tem can make the assignment at that point. I just, I will not be serving on any council that ever has this, so I just, the idea that maybe the new council should do it.
We didn't do that to take it away.
We did it midterm, wasn't it?
It was late in the year.
Okay, well, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All right.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
No.
Mr. Schauber?
No.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
No.
Okay, motion carries.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, no, it doesn't?
Nope.
Motion carries. Okay.
Requires 7.
You're right, okay. 5 to 3, or 3 to 5.
Not suspended.
Okay.
This is the first reading.
Yeah, moving on to the first reading. And move on to item number 6, resolution 2025-025.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Marion requesting that the mayor formally seek supplemental funding from the Marion County Commissioners to offset projected 10% reduction in the City of Marion Senior Center budget for fiscal year 2026.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yeah, this came out of municipal services with a 2-0 recommendation, with no recommendation. This is just a resolution that I put together in hopes that the county commissioners and our city mayor will be able to sit down and have conversation and hopefully come up with the 10% reduction for the senior center. That way they don't have to take a cut in their budget. Unless anybody else has anything to add, I would like to make a motion to suspend so that can happen as quickly as possible.
We have a motion to suspend.
Mr. Rollins.
And Mr. Rollins?
Second.
Mr. Rollins has a second. Suspend 3 readings, Will. Okay.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Okay, motion to suspend 3 readings carries unanimously.
Rollins and Smith.
Mr. Rollins and then Mr. T. Smith?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, and the second from Mr. T. Smith, and discussion from Mr. Ratliff.
Just a question, with the goal to happen as soon as possible, what do you think about amending it to have an emergency clause on it so it can take effect?
I thought it did have an emergency clause on it.
It does.
I had asked the clerk to please put that in there.
It's just not in
It's
the
not in
title.
Isn't a resolution, does a resolution require, I don't know that a resolution requires any type of,
The heading
He
should
does,
have
Mr. Russell?
the declaration in the heading.
Yeah. It is in section 4, but it's not in the heading.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
It's not an ordinance.
A resolution carries the same weight as an ordinance.
so just to interject, whether we call them ordinances or resolutions until 2025, it used to mean something back in 1910 or something. It doesn't mean anymore. Both are laws passed by council, so the reference doesn't matter. The other thing, it's the content of the substance of the document itself as opposed to the heading. So even though it was probably a clerical error that didn't, at the end of the title say, and declaring emergency, the fact that it's in paragraph 4 is good enough.
Should we state that it's a clerical error for the record?
Yeah, just have the clerk correct it.
Okay.
Okay, we're all set on that then.
It's good to be said.
Okay, we're ready to
What do we say?
take roll unless there's other comments or questions.
Yeah.
There was a,
We've already got a motion and a second.
we've got a motion and a second on the floor.
Yes.
Okay.
Right?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. Item number 7, ordinance 2025-130.
Ordinance authorizing the service director to enter into a contract with Hazen and Sawyer for planning, evaluation, and conceptual design of a leachate treatment system located at the Water Pollution Control Center, appropriating necessary funds and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Barnes comes out of Streets and Sewers Committee.
Yeah, I've come out of the Streets and Sewers Committee with a 3-0 recommendation to approve. This is design and, or evaluate and design a leachate treatment center, or system, I'm sorry, out of the wastewater. This is to help remove the forever chemicals, the PFAS and stuff like that. This is where I think everywhere is going to be heading shortly, and I think we're on the leading edge of this, which allows us to be in a position to have a 100% forgivable loan if we implement this in the way the state and the federal government want us to do that. Mr. Ice is here, and I'm sure he would love to explain it more in detail if you have any questions.
Matt Ice, WPC Superintendent. Yeah, I'm willing to answer any questions you got.
Mr. Schauber?
So after this system's in place, what will the city realize as far as operational costs?
So that's been in discussions. The city of Columbus is the one really pushing this, and we are going to go into negotiations with them. They have some money that they're willing to share.
Really?
They have a nice settlement that they have received. It's kind of a quiet topic.
Okay, so our operational costs, we will incur operational
Yes,
costs.
so
Could
one of the
potentially be
big
covered for X amount of time, or?
Yes, that's part of the negotiation process.
Okay.
So what more than likely will happen, in water treatment, they use what's called granulated activated carbon, GAC or GAC. They use that somehow, I don't understand this though, somehow it absorbs these chemicals, and then you have to pay to recharge the carbon and or dispose of the carbon. Those are gonna be the things that we negotiate with Columbus.
Okay, so if we're disposing of the carbon, Columbus will be taking care of that? Is that what I'm hearing, kind of, maybe?
Hopefully.
Hopefully, okay. And if they do not, that would be a significant cost.
So the cost then will be incurred, that's about 15% of our revenue is leachate haulers, along with our own landfill. We're always getting it from our own landfill, the old closed landfill. So about 15% of our revenue comes from leachate haulers. disposing of their water at our plant. We're one of the few plants in Ohio that takes it. So it's a great revenue source for us. If we have to, we'll just have to.
Those
factor
fees will
that
go
into
in.
those fees,
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Point of question. Is Columbus interested in this is because they're downstream from us?
Columbus is interested because we dump into the little Scioto, which then discharges into the Scioto. They are building a new water treatment plant on Home Road. It's a $1 billion+ project. So they've done research that has brought all the sampling back to our discharge. Basically at 95, they found higher than normal results of these PFAS. At the Holland Road Bridge, they found 0. So we're the only thing in between there. So.
And that's not due to the disruption of the cleaning of the river through there?
It should not be. When they did the samples, that section had already been cleaned.
I got you.
So it shouldn't have anything to do with that. PFAS are not known to be in petroleum-type products, mainly in different chemical formulas. Also in fire retardant material, that's one of the biggest ones. So, fire suppressant.
Okay.
Any other questions from Mr.
Yeah,
Rice?
Mr. Rice, we need to get this out to get a bid for design because we need to start construction September, August,
I think
September.
it's August that construction has to be started. The federal, I forget what it's called now, it's an infrastructure bill that was passed by the federal government. The construction has to be started by August. So we literally have about 7-8 months to get it in design.
Bid, design.
And they got to do pilot testing and everything because this is a very new technology when it comes to wastewater treatment.
It's going to be customized to our wastewater treatment
Yes.
facility. That's how they're, so
Yeah.
that'll take some time.
And it's kind of an exciting thing to be a part of because this is really happening quickly in the water industry. All over the country, they're starting to require these PFAS removals. Wastewater is not even heard of yet. So obviously you've got to get it from the source removed in order to protect the environment.
Mr. Schauber?
Will this be a new structure, or how big is this system?
That's what they have to determine.
Okay, because aren't we kind of, not necessarily landlocked, but we're pushing into the trash site, and when we did our container, the catch overflow, we got into some stuff that we really didn't want to dig into.
Yeah, my understanding is it'll be more of a dump site and then a structure that goes up.
Okay.
So we have to get the leachate from our current landfill pumped up into a system. So there's going to be pumping no matter what. So I don't know. This is all conceptual. It sounds like it would be a pit that they would dump into that would then pump into a taller building that it would filter down through, is my understanding.
Mr. Barr?
I'll make a motion to suspend the 3 readings.
Second.
I have a motion, Mr. Barr, second, Mr. Dickel, to suspend the 3 readings. When you're ready.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion to suspend carries. Mr. Barr?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion to adopt from Mr. Barr, and it looks like the second for Mr. Dickel again.
You've got some questions, Mandy?
Yes. Ms. Lukey.
Teresa Lupke, 555 Normandy Drive. So this is the first time I'm hearing this, so excuse if I'm asking questions that don't make sense. But, so this would be treating our wastewater, correct? Okay, so I live on Normandy Drive. I've talked to several of you about this before, where we will often have sewage back up on our street. What will be the impact of our ability to continue to treat our wastewater? My concern is this going to slow down the treatment, right? Is it going to cause water at the end to build up longer and back up? Because if it is, then I have some concerns.
And we're building stuff in the system to relieve some of that pressure. I believe this system will not slow down anything. That's why they have to build to suit for our plan, so that it doesn't bottleneck in that area.
Right, because the last thing Marion needs is more bottlenecking of our sewage system. So just to make sure that that's the case.
Thank you.
I'd
Mr.
be
Rice,
happy
if
to
you-
speak on that. This has nothing to do with the long-term control plan that is designed to kind of release some of these bottlenecks. So phase one was releasing the bottleneck at the plant. Phase 2 and 3 are currently under design. Those are to release the bottlenecks in the main arteries that come into the plant. That's supposed to help the flow get there faster. This would be a side treatment process. The flow from these tanker trucks and then from the landfill would be diverted into this. It has nothing to do with the city flow coming in. It just protects the treatment process to remove these chemicals that we don't want in there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Another comment or question?
Really, Mayor, 890 Edward Street. So what just happened? That was the first I ever heard about that, and that just went to vote like real quick. Like, what just happened? I was trying to comprehend, the next thing you know, we're voting. I didn't even get a chance to raise my hand up. What just happened?
We haven't
What
voted.
did we just approve? What did we just do? Because here's what I want to know. When I first started coming to these meetings on November 25th, I do believe hearing something about Aqua wanted to raise the tax. And y'all, I do believe voted that down, I think. Is that correct?
So what
Can I
we're,
get somebody to answer that one?
an increase, we did, yes.
So what hold on, you voted down the increase?
We didn't vote down the increase, we voted down, we didn't want the increase.
We voted to fight the
Agreed to
increase.
fight.
Yeah,
Voted to fight it.
All right, so in doing that, right now, all of a sudden, our water is shit. It's not good, sorry. All right, so.
This isn't our drinking water, this is
it
water
doesn't-
that
This has to
leaches.
do with water and a whole lot of stuff. There's a whole lot of things that are going on, and like, this just happened real quick. We're like, what's leaching? What's this? What's this? And next thing you know, we're like, let's hurry up and do it. Pass, 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 pass. What just happened?
Mr. Smith, go right ahead.
This, we think this is a good thing. So this is a water pollution control center, and we have a federal, the grant monies for it are going to be, it's forgivable. It's a forgivable loan, as they stated, before we suspended the rules. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, we just suspended it.
We haven't passed anything yet. We have a motion in a second.
Okay.
We're hopefully gonna pass it, because this is good infrastructure upgrades.
And that may be, but it just, sometimes with you guys, like, we're just regular people here, trying to understand, and I'm trying to start to learn a little bit. And feel like, I'm over here like, what just happened? Because I know right now, I don't even want to take a shower. I was told my water is safe, and then they flushed it. Why would you flush safe water?
It is, I see your
Makes
confusion,
no
but it is a
sense.
separate.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on, and I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it.
Anything else? All right. We have a motion to adopt in a second, so when you're ready.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickey?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Can't have any sleeping back there, please. That was unanimous. 8-0. Okay, moving on to item 8, ordinance 2025-131.
Ordinance requesting appropriations to the Transit Department Fund in the below-listed line item for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes, this came out of finance. There were a number of local businesses that made donations for the transit light tour bus route. It passed with a 2-0 recommendation to approve. I will just add that my family did take the opportunity to jump on one of the buses this past weekend. It was a really good time. So, do want to thank again all of the local businesses that supported the downtown light tour. With that, unless there's any questions, I'll make a motion to suspend the 3 readings.
Okay, we have a motion to suspend, and Mr. Prater, do you have?
I'll second.
Okay, other comments or questions about? Thank you for that report there, Mr. Holmes. Okay, we've got a motion and a second to suspend.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously to suspend the readings. Mr. Rollins?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion for that, and Mr. T. Smith has a second. Any other questions or comments on this? All right, are you ready?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
No.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-1. Moving on to item number 9, ordinance 2025-132.
Ordinance requesting additional appropriations to the SCMR fund in the below listed line item for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
Mr. Rollins, also out of finance.
Yeah, this also came out of finance with a 2-0 recommendation to approve. This is just the standard, normal bond payment structure that typically comes before council on a regular basis. If there's no other questions, I'll also make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
And it looks like Mr. Barr will second that. Questions or comments on that one? Okay, let's go ahead.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion to suspend carries unanimously. Mr. Rollins?
Make a motion to approve.
And Mr. Prater has the second for that. Anything else? Do we have questions or comments on that? Hearing none, go ahead.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. 8-0. Uh-oh. Well,
I'm at 8:15.
okay, you want to use that one?
No.
Okay.
I just put it in there.
All right.
Item 10.
Ordinance, I'm sorry, item number 9?
10.
Oh, I'm sorry, number 10. I can flip the page yet. Item number 10, ordinance 2025-133.
Ordinance approving additional appropriations in the receipt of OPWC funds from the state of Ohio for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
Also out of that finance committee meeting, Ms. Rollins.
Yeah, this also came out of finance with a 2-0 recommendation to approve. This is related to the work that was done on Girard Ave. The budget that was passed for fiscal year 2025 did not appropriate enough expenses to cover all the expenditures. So this is just to clean that up. Unless there's any questions, again, I will make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second.
Okay, a motion to suspend from Mr. Well and a second from Mr. Dickel. Any questions on that? Okay, are you ready?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Motion carries to suspend the 3 reading rule. Mr. Rollins?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Mr. Rollins, looks like a second from Mr. T. Smith. Any further questions or comments on that? Hearing none, go ahead.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries 8-0. Come to matters not on the agenda, administration or council.
Madam President, before the meeting this evening, I had handed out to council members a proposed ordinance for consideration, which I shared with the mayor and Auditor McGinnis. And Auditor McGinnis has confirmed that she does run these reports that are contained in Section 1. However, this too was an important item that came out of the meeting with the State of Ohio Auditor's Office. She emphasized how important it is for the city to run these 3 reports that are noted in Section 1. These reports being end of the year processing as to statement of cash position, end of the year processing in regards to cross-fund report by asset, end of the year processing as to cross-fund report by liability. Cindy at the State Auditor's Office said these are very important reports so that you can continue to have an accurate budget that can be reconciled going forward. And so I put it in the form of a writing. I believe it's of such importance, in my opinion, the council should suspend the committee consideration, suspend the rules and pass this evening so that it's an ordinance of the city of Marion that these reports shall be run on the last day of this year.
We need 3 councilmen to add it to the agenda.
Mr. Rollins?
I will be one of those to add it and
Okay.
make a motion to waive the committee rule.
Second.
All right, and Mr. Dixon has a second, and Ms. Lang will be the third on the
Yes.
council.
Suspending committee consideration. Mr. Rollins?
Yes, and did we get a second on that? I was counting the 3 names for the, thing. So,
It's already added. I'll second
Thank
that.
you.
I have a question as well.
okay.
So the auditor has, I guess, stated that she does run these reports. But somehow, the state felt it significant to tell us to do this. So have you run this report every year that you've been auditor? Have you run all 3 reports on the 31st every single year?
These reports actually get run on a regular basis. They get run monthly. They're not like the aging balances report, which we've mentioned before, that changes frequently. These are pretty stable. So unless there's actual general ledger activity that adjusts those balances, you can pull these any date for a period of time, and it'll remain the same. So these reports do get pulled on a monthly basis. They're on file. We have them, and I'll make sure to pull them, close of business for December 31st.
So my question is, why did the state make it a point to recommend this?
I do know that when we were discussing it, there was some analysis done between the cross-fund report and the statement of cash position report. That was one of the big analysis points that Cindy had actually processed between October and when we had our meeting several weeks ago. From the period that she had analyzed, there were several differences between the cross-fund and the cash position report. And that was one of the reasons she suggested that both of these reports get pulled so that we can possibly identify what those differences are and figure out how to adjust them.
Don't get much further, I need to...
Ms. Lang?
Correct me, but my understanding was that in the past, we had not run the report by asset and report by liability, and those were the 2 that they wanted to make sure got run.
I mean, we can, like I said, we can pull them at any point, and as long as there's not GL activity that changes those balances, they'll remain the same. But I have pulled all 3 of those reports on numerous occasions for multiple months.
I believe that even though she's running these whenever, they just want to make sure that they are done on that day.
And that's what I'm specifying, is that I will make sure that they are done for December 31st.
All right.
Anything else?
Yeah, just a bit of procedure. I probably ought to read the ordinance, since it's been added to the agenda. This will, for reference, be ordinance 2025-134, ordinance directing the auditor of the city of Marion to run necessary New World reports on December 31st, 2025, and declaring an emergency.
All right, and we have a first and a second to suspend Committee Rule 56?
Yes. Committee consideration, yes.
Yes. When you're ready.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickle?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Rollins?
I'll make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
All right, motion to suspend 3 readings. Mr. Prater, I see your hand up for the
Yep.
second.
Second.
Any other comments or questions about that? All right, hearing none, when you're ready.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickle?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously to suspend 3 readings rule. And Mr. Rollins again.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion to adopt and a second for Mr. Dickle.
Would council and the city be at an advantage if they also added to this that not only at the 31st of December of each year, that this report is also ran monthly? Because this is the foundation of reconciliation, correct?
Yeah.
I'm getting a nod for those that can't hear nods.
Yes, and it should be ran at the exact same time every month.
Right,
Same
so
day.
should we add that?
I don't believe it's necessary at this time. We were just wanting to ensure that we were all on the same page for this December 31st as we move forward, working with the state through the plan that's been referenced. If there's a need to put some structure in place to ensure that the software system is timely run on the right dates, we'll do that going forward. It doesn't need to be done right now.
Well, I mean, NEAR has reconciliation since 2019, so, okay.
Francis Rodriguez, 335 North State Street, Marion, Ohio. I'm a homeowner, very happy to be here in this community, and thank you guys for this wonderful service you guys do to our community, for helping out. I'm here because I'm concerned about this as a former police record specialist, and I work for Girl Scouts of Ohio's Heartland. We reconciliated our records when I ran register at the store daily. And it really concerns me that the city would not be willing to run a monthly report, because seeing how the salaries have been compromised for the employees for the past couple of weeks, it really concerns me that we would not be willing to have such level of accountability on a monthly basis. So that's just my 2 cents on this topic, and I hope you guys consider this motion. Thank you.
Does anybody want to reconsider their motion so we can amend this?
You could amend it at any time. Yeah, you could.
Can we? Okay, so I'll make it why don't we amend to add it so that this gets printed out every month? Where do we add that at? Or?
You have it?
I'll make the amendment so that, in the heading, so that this is printed out the same time every month. Is that simple enough? Do you need me to add any more to it?
Motion to amend. Is there more wording that needs to be?
There's going to have to be, because the ordinance itself is only requesting that it be run on December 31st of this year, not a monthly report or a forever do this every year.
So I understand the comment, and the comment makes sense. It was a little bit like Mr. Schauber was saying, this should be more than just 12/31. We're just looking at 12/31 at this point. We can easily incorporate additional time periods going into the next year. That's better done in January. You're making it too complicated, in my opinion. Yes, they should be run monthly. It should have been run quarterly in 2019.
But we need to find the point where we stop and we start accounting per practices. There has to be a point where we say, okay, from this point forward, we're doing things right. Like we said, I was listening to the meeting, and we were saying we have to have a plan moving forward. Twyla was saying we can no longer sponsor nonprofits. I'm sorry, but we don't have the budget for that right now. So we have to stand firm where we are and stand in righteousness. And righteousness starts with being accountable. Yes, we've made mistakes. Let's fix them moving forward.
Ms. Lang?
If I could answer, that's part of the fiscal caution that we're in, or fiscal watch.
Part of the recovery.
And that's part of the recovery plan, is the fact that it hadn't been done in the past, and that is one of the things that we have to get done and put in place. This is to guarantee that it's going to get done, that these reports, and then it will be done every month going forward.
And let's think about it too, of showing solidarity with the state and working forward to find a solution, not just to put a Band-Aid over it, to find real solutions to these issues that we've been having, that we are very capable of resolving. So it just takes collaboration. So all I'm asking you guys is accountability moving forward.
That's
It's
what
not
we're,
about the past, it's about us moving forward. It's about the future.
that's what we're working towards. Thank you.
Kimberly Mayor, 890 Bedford Street. So we just had to have an ordinance thing put up on for her to do her job. Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what I'm hearing, ladies and gentlemen? We had to bring something before council so our auditor can run our report. Is that what I'm hearing as a citizen? That's a little bit annoying, okay? It's a little bit annoying. Can I ask the auditor, what is your job responsibilities? If you don't reconcile, what is it you're doing, please?
The job of the auditor is to maintain records for the city.
It does, okay, so is it just maintaining records? So should that person be called a bookkeeper? I'm asking.
I mean, that's part of the function of it, yes.
Because I was thinking like the auditor was like a person that like ran, like was in charge of stuff, like an accountant, and like an accountant has a bookkeeper. So you're like our bookkeeper, so we need a bookkeeper for a bookkeeper? Is that what we're saying?
Ma'am, all this is doing is it's requiring the auditor to do a specific job on a specific day.
I
That's it.
understand that, but doesn't that sound silly?
Not
That we have to
particularly.
bring something before council to run a report, to balance a budget? It sounds like there's a lot of things that apparently we don't want these reports being run. I'm saying this as a citizen. Are we not wanting these reports being ran because there's stuff being hidden? Is that why we only like, "Ooh, let's only run the reports here and there"? I'm like, I'm just gonna say it out there. I'm like, is there stuff being hidden? I'm like, why would we not run reports? And why do we need permission to do it? Just as a citizen, just saying, it's just weird. You guys are gonna not like me up here. Because I'm all about accountability.
Thank you. You don't have the floor right now. Okay, we've got,
Never mind.
Motion to adopt.
we had a motion. Did we get a second?
Yes, Mr. Victor.
I think I was gonna say, did my amendment die for Michael's second?
As of right now, yes.
Okay, that's fine. Motion to approve. Have we gotten that yet?
Yep.
Okay. Let's vote.
Did they second that?
Yes,
Oh.
Yes, go.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. Do you have the number on that?
2025-134.
Okay,
Other matters not on the agenda.
any other, yeah, well, we've got reports here, any other matters not on the agenda for council or admin? Mr. Dickel?
I would just like to thank the people of Marion for entrusting this seat to me for the last 4 months, and I wish everybody the best of luck on trying to bring Marion forward. It's been a privilege, it's been an honor, and I love the passion that you people bring. I've met a lot of people, Mrs. Lipke and Mr. Kreider, and the people coming forward that have a passion for the city. Keep it up. I appreciate it. I've learned a lot, and I'll be listening to these meetings and wishing you all the best of luck. But Marion's worth saving. It's been very good to me. It's been very good to my family. My wife and I are looking perhaps for a retirement home here, And my kids keep wanting me to move near them towards Columbus. Who can afford that? Marion's such an affordable place to live. And one day I'll be buried in St. Mary's Cemetery, so I'm going to be here for a long time. So please,
Don't rush.
yeah, don't rush it. I'm trying not to, but please do your best and and I think you're on the right track. Mayor, I think you've taken a really political risk on calling the state in here by doing the right thing. And by doing the right thing, in 4 or 5 years, the city's going to be flourishing again because you did the right thing. So thank you for doing that. And I thank you again, people of Marion, for entrusting the seat to me. It's been a privilege and an honor. So thank you.
Mr. Rollins?
Yeah, as is the last meeting for a few folks up here, I definitely want to thank Bill for his time on council. But further, would just like to thank Councilman Ratliff and Councilman Schaber for their contributions. I know my time on council, although minute in comparison to those two gentlemen, I've learned an incredible amount from both of them. Consider them both great friends, and I just want to thank them both, not only for their service to Marion, but for entrusting a lot of trust in me and taking me under their wing, so to speak, and just helping a young first-time councilman feel a little more comfortable about what he was doing up here. So thank you, gentlemen, both.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Prick.
Yeah, I also, he beat me to the punch. I was going to say the same thing about their service here on council. It is, you can learn a lot from about the procedures and the workings of it, and just thank you for all the service and time you put to helping Marion. Thank you very much.
Anything further? Councilor Ennick? Public comments? Ms. Fisher?
Francis Rodriguez, 335 North State Street, Marion, Ohio. I was born in California. My roots are indigenous, and what got me out of bed as I was watching you guys interact tonight and lead, I was very concerned about the changing chemicals in our wastewater plant. I'm very concerned. Ohio is a land of the clean waters. So I just came to, as we get together with our families this holiday season, let's think about keeping the children safe in the future, because changing the chemicals with our old structure, we've seen all those ruptures on main and increasing pressure to the tap tubes. I'm studying electrical engineering and I'm getting into vacuum systems this semester. So I'm very concerned about what increased water pressure would cause upon our water main breaks that have happened twice on State Street since I bought my house 2 years ago. So I'm just really concerned about the long-term effects. Not just that, oh, we're getting these free upgrades. Nothing's free. We've learned nothing is free. And I'm really interested in what that settlement money was for. If it's so secret, I want to know what it was. If it was a DuPont settlement, if it was, what it was. As a homeowner and having a child with autoimmune conditions, it really concerns me when it comes to water quality. So changing the chemicals really concerns me because of Flint. That's what happened with Flint, Michigan. Their wastewater treatment plant changed the chemicals in the water, and that led to corrosion in the lead pipes, and now we see Aaron Brockovich making billions of dollars when the children are still sick. So that's just my 2 cents, but thank you guys for listening.
Mr. Ice, did you want to say something on that?
Yeah, I'll just say the water side is the Flint, Michigan side, the drinking water. The chemicals that we're talking about are on the wastewater side. We don't discharge directly into their water plant. We're below that water plant.
But this water goes somewhere.
It does. Yes, we always drink somebody else's wastewater. That's the story of our world. And that is what we're trying to do, is we want to do everything we can to protect it. Your first question in there.
Is changing the chemicals and the effect on our lead pipes and our older structure.
Yeah, and that would be, they changed their treatment process in their water plant.
Mm-hmm.
What they added actually allowed something to be released in those lead pipes.
Well, they went from a carbon-based, exactly the same situation.
Well, no, they actually changed their treatment process. So they added a chemical that softened their water, and that released the lining of those lead pipes, which then released those pollutants.
because something that I've learned from this community is that we have an infrastructure where our water mains break with any increase in pressure.
Yes.
You were mentioning something about manipulating the pressure with this release of the system. Yeah.
That's on the water side. I don't have any control over that.
Mm-hmm.
But on the wastewater side, we are doing everything we can to try to protect the water.
So what's going to protect the homeowners in our sewers that we're responsible for?
And that's what, we're doing this long-term control plan to try to reduce the pressures on the system.
And how are local factors going to be included into that? Because we have a very old structure in our sewage system.
Yeah, and this long-term control plan is a 25-year plan with the EPA. And the idea is to reduce the pressures through the whole city.
Yeah, because as the funding is projected with the project plan, are you guys going to have an allocation of budgets for incidents, for damages in case these incidents happen? Is there funding within that?
In our budget that I work with the mayor with, we do allocate money every year for damages that do happen. I have guys, they could work every day nonstop and work on replacing pipes. We work within that budget, especially when it comes to emergencies. We'll have those guys go out and they'll dig up the pipes, replace them, try to connect a good pipe. We use a camera system that goes into the pipes to investigate, to look for issues within those pipes, to try to eliminate future issues.
Are you guys the one doing the Main Street? You guys do the repairs on that? Or you guys have that contract? Because the repairs are very shoddy, they're very uneven. Like the quality of the work is not that great.
Where on Main Street? Is it sewer?
Yeah, like the streets that busted the sewers that ruptured.
That's drinking water.
Okay, no, the water main broke.
And that's the one that humped up in front of the
Yes.
Catholic church there?
Yes. Mhm.
That's all drinking water.
Okay, because that one was one and the other one was on State Street. And that street is still really uneven.
And that's
so
drinking
I don't know
water.
who got that contract.
That's all through Aqua of Ohio.
Okay.
So,
I just thought you guys had that contract for a
Nope.
second. I was
thankfully,
like.
I'm not in charge of water.
Thank you, guys.
Just so-
Ms. Fisher, you're up next.
Since Lois Fisher, 790, very nice circle, Marion. And since this is the last full board meeting, I have two comments to make, well, three probably. One, I'd like to thank the administration and all of council for hard work and the tough decisions you're having to make now. And I know that you're putting in a lot of extra time and a lot of effort on behalf of the citizens that we stand out here. And you'll have, all of us may not agree with what's being said or what's being done. But I think that in the end, we're not going to die, we're going to survive. What else can we do? We have to survive. And so we're going to do that. And as far as DMI, I think the community will come together, the community will support, and we will continue, DMI will continue on. And we're in agreement on that. We understand what you have to do is what you have to do. And I also would like to say a big thank you to Mr. Ratliff, Mr. Schauber, because between the two of you, I'm not quite sure, but I think you've put in someplace between 30 and 40 years.
36-ish, I think, between
36
the two.
years
That's in
combined.
between 30 and 40.
Now, people,
Yes.
that's a lot of good service. And I think a big thank you to you for doing that. So
Thank
that's
you.
all I have to say since this is the last meeting of the year, but I'll be back next year.
Anything else? Okay, we'll go on to committee meetings.
No committee meeting.
No committees.
Well, you're right.
Oh, so before we go on, what was the thing that you suggested that go on the January 1 agenda? I would say that someone should add that to your agenda, because otherwise, if you don't add it, because that's a special organizational meeting, and if there's not a vote to add it, the clerk can't just do it, if I'm not mistaken.
Madam President, in preparation, in response to Mr. Schauber's point, this is the time of year where we, at this meeting, the last meeting of the year, it's announced that the council intends to meet on January 1st, 2026 at noon. The president is ready if you want to read the statement.
Sure. For Marion City Code 111, Marion City Council will meet next on January 1st, 2026 for its reorganization. The meeting will begin at noon with the swearing in of the new city elected officials and new city council. Following the swearing in, council will begin its reorganization with selection of president pro tem, clerk, and clerk pro tem, and it will take up ordinance 2026-002. All other ordinances will be taken back up at its January 12th meeting.
Unless somebody wants to add.
Yeah, so to Mr. Schauber's point,
Yeah.
find that ordinance number to add it correctly.
Madam President?
Yes.
So actually, there needs to be a motion from a council person in a second to hold the meeting at noon on January 1st.
It's in council rules now.
Is it?
Yeah,
Would we
yeah.
in the room?
We can change that.
And I'm going to sit down after I say this. I'd recommend you leave the only thing on the agenda other than reorganization being 26-02. All the others, we can pick them up at January 12th.
Or it's your council, and you can do what you want.
Well, because we can
17.
we can vote on our committees that day too, if they're presented, if the president pro tem elect brings it forward.
No, I wouldn't do that.
You can't do that for the very next meeting. I want to get into that finance.
Hearing nothing else. During this meeting, 8:31. Thank you all for coming.
Now I can go puke.
So we spent an hour discussing amendments, which you guys could change right back to what you wanted first.
You guys are making it complicated.